He's a magical pony flying through the sky on a magical...
Shoot it down.
Welcome to a video on how to get good at the Unicorn Chomper, perhaps the most exclusive character known to man since the Fortnite Season 1 skins. Players who are a part of that 1% who grinded hundreds of hours to unlock him, or are a PC snob who just pack hacked him, will realize exactly how much of an impact of swapping out the ability to dig for the ability to teleport makes all the difference in the world. Let's get started. The Unicorn Chomper is an exclusive variant of the Chomper class, who was only available to unlock for 1 year after Garden Warfare 2's release, because PopCap needed an excuse to make even more fucking Chomper variants. His primary weapon functions exactly the same as the stock Chompers, but with horse noises, which will make any Yahoo Mice fan cringe harder than watching the videos they made back when they were 9 years old. The weapon fires at 135 rounds per minute and has no limit on how much it can be used. Each chomp fired can deal 25 damage and has a 4.5 meter range limit, so like most chompers, he has about as much range as Wolfie's patience. So far, most people would just assume this variant to be a glorified reskin of the standard chomper, but flashy and sparkly. But because this mixed breed of a horse has snorted 26 pounds of rainbow scented cocaine, they also have an ability that is exclusive to them, and only them, being the Unicorn Warp. This ability is essentially a glorified scientist warp, but instead of it being conjured out of the power of scientific stuff, this one is forged out of the millions of victims of the weird and wonderful Chomper logic. However, the warp is not a perfect carbon copy, and does have several differences that can affect certain strategies. Firstly, the Unicorn Warp deploys noticeably faster than the Scientist's Warp, making it more efficient in quick escapes at a moment's notice. Additionally, whilst negligible, the Unicorn Warp travels ever so slightly further than the Scientist's Warp as well. This, when in combination with the faster deploy time, can allow you to travel quite the sizable distance within the blink of an eye, and just suddenly fuck up the enemy's plans before they can figure out their head from their own fucking ass. However, one negative trait that the Unicorn Warp has is that unlike the Scientist Warp, you cannot climb up small slopes at all. This means that if you were to use the warp on an environment that either has a set of stairs or a sudden lip within the terrain, you will just halt right in your fucking tracks, since somehow that clearly how fucking logic works. This makes the Unicorn Warp better than the Scientist in most situations, such as quickly closing the distance on vulnerable enemies after gooping them, or avoiding potentially fatal situations. Though the warp will end up short when it comes to upward slopes or sudden upward changes within the terrain. You get 2 charges of the ability, and each charge has a 25-second cooldown. The optimum upgrade setup for the Unicorn Chomper would be the 2 damage upgrades and either a health regeneration or digestion upgrade. The 2 damage upgrades greatly increase your damage output and can allow you to easily mow down even bulkier classes such as All-Stars with as little as 7 chomps. The last slot can be used for either health regeneration or a digestion upgrade, depending on how shit your luck is when it comes to PopCap forcing you to swallow people. In terms of strengths, most of them are the same as the standard Chomper. However, because you have the option to warp instead of burrow, this gives the Unicorn Chomper enhanced mobility options, and be able to be very assassin-like in killing his enemies and then immediately escaping. However, like most chompers, range is not a strong suit of Unicorn Chomper, even with the ability to instantly warp a short distance forward. Additionally, despite the buffs of the Unicorn Warp, the one negative trait in it getting stuck on upward terrain can occasionally end up the Unicorn Chomper's path and land him in a worse situation than what you started with. Thanks to this guide, you will now know how the 1% enjoy flexing their prized position, which is literally just a reskin of the stock Chomper but with a raw branded Scientist Warp slapped on top of it. Be sure to come back for the next episodes next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.